Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Suzanne Song. I'm a humanitarian child and adult psychiatrist. This past month I have had many patients asking me very similar questions about how to build confidence. I have one patient who she needs to negotiate for a job promotion. So she's wondering, what can I do to prepare myself to feel confident when I'm going in to negotiate on behalf of myself? I have another patient who's going on his first date in a while, and he's really been looking for a partner. And he's nervous, not sure about what to do and how to feel confident going into that. I have another patient who is trying to minimize his use of drinking. And in social scenes, he feels awkward being the only person who's sober. And so he's wondering, how can he feel less socially awkward? The common thread in all of these are we feel insecure at times. That is a normal human response. Right? So how can we build some internal confidence? Well, the first thing we need to do is to address the fear. What is the fear if we do not get this thing? If we don't get that second date? If you don't get that raise or promotion? The fear tends to be something around being unloved, being rejected, not being good enough. We're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not funny enough, attractive enough, the list can go on and on, intelligent enough. So we address the fear because most likely that fear is overblown. So if you don't get the promotion, does it mean you're not good enough? Most likely not, right? If this date doesn't work out and you don't get that second date, does that mean that you're not XYZ enough? Most likely it means you just weren't a good match. There's nothing negative associated with it. It's just the match was not right, which is actually a blessing. So we think about the fear that's behind it and we go straight towards the fear. We embrace it and we really look critically and ask ourselves, what's really the worst that could happen? And most of the time it's not so bad. The other thing that I like to tell people to do, invite people to do, is the day before, the night before, whatever the big talk is, or the big event is, to ask yourself two questions. One, how do I want the other person to perceive me? And the second question is, how do I want to perceive the other person? All right, so let's say I am going to my boss to negotiate for a job promotion, like a raise and a title. So the night before that conversation, I'm going to ask myself, how do I want that person to think about me, to feel about me? Well, I want my boss to think that I'm competent, that I have value, and that I am someone that he does respect. I want him to think that I'm intelligent, I'm a hard worker, right? So I tell myself that's how I want him to think about me. I want him to feel that I'm a partner, right? That I am a team player, that I bring collaboration and I bring positivity into the workplace. I want him to feel that positive association with me. And then I ask myself, how do I want to perceive him? I want to think of my boss as being on my side. I want to think of him as someone who is really trying to support me, who is finding ways to support me. Maybe he can't because of external factors, but that he actually wants to support me. He's not trying to bring me down. I want him to feel, I want to feel positively towards him too. I want to feel kindness towards him, right? So ask yourself those two questions and then go to sleep and let it rest. But even just pausing and asking yourself those two questions helps you to reframe before you go into the meeting that it's not a me versus them, right? It's more of a collaborative model. It's not what can I do to make sure they're not negatively judging me. It's Well, they probably will not negatively judge me. They're probably positive and on my side. And that changes the whole atmosphere of how you go into that meeting. And the second thing you can do is right before the meeting, and this is from Amy Cuddy, who's a social psychologist, is to get really big. So put your arms out really wide and just take up a lot of space. As much space as you can. If you do it right now, like right now, do it with me. It feels really weird, but just put your arms up and take up as much space as possible. Already, we take up more space. We build more confidence. We tell the world, I'm deserving of this much space, right? And it opens your shoulders, it opens your chest, and it helps break some of that fear that you have. And allows you to say, you know what, I'm worth this, right? And the other person, they're wanting to figure out how to make this work for me too. So let's do this together. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay, because you've talked about the fear to yourself. I know what the worst thing is, and it's not that bad, so I'm going to be okay. Then you go into your meeting with a very different perspective, and that one that is of abundance and confidence. Okay? So feel free. I would love to hear any thoughts, questions. Check out my website at suzannesong.com or follow me here. Put in your questions. I'd love to chat more with you. Okay, bye-bye.